My name is Koichi Ariake. I'm a 26-year-old engineer working at Furue Technology. This is a mid-sized IT company that has been around for over 20 years, offering good pay and plenty of benefits. On top of that, there's hardly any overtime. It's been 4 years since I joined, thinking it was a great place to work, and while the promises were true, I never thought the work would be this boring. Furue Technology is a company that manages the IT infrastructure of its group companies. We handle the operation and maintenance of servers and networks for the entire group, playing an important role. If something goes wrong, we need to respond immediately, or the whole group will be affected. It's a job with serious responsibilities, or at least that's what I was told when I was a rookie. But troubles happen maybe once a month, if any. Every day, I just follow the same steps to check the system. This is boring. Do I have to keep doing this for years? This movie is hilarious. I heard that voice from beside me. That's Shota Mishiba, a 28-year-old engineer and my senior. This guy, he spends most of his work hours watching movies or playing mobile games. Not just him, but many people in the company pass the time doing unrelated tasks. As long as you handle emergency troubleshooting and the daily screen operations, you are free to do whatever you like in this company. When I first joined, I tried to be proactive. If we implement this system, it would significantly improve efficiency. It also has great scalability for the future. No, why would we increase it? We are already bored as it is. That's when I realized what the company atmosphere was like. I knew it was pointless to speak up, so from then on, I just sat back and collected my paycheck. I know it's an easy job, but... Then one day, I was called out by my friend from college, Katsuyoshi Eto, and heard some surprising news. You are starting your own game company? But you were so happy to get into a good company. Yeah, I came up with this amazing idea, but they told me it wouldn't fly at the company, so I decided to go for it. So Koichi, will you join me? You said you wanted to make games, right? Having you as an engineer would be a great help. Huh, that's a lot to ask on short notice. Alright, then just listen to my presentation first. I even prepared materials. For about an hour, Katsuyoshi presented his game idea to me. If you match two number 1 cherries, they turn into number 2 strawberries, and ultimately, you aim for number 8 watermelon. A simple one-idea indie game designed for easy reactions and gameplay for streamers, huh? As expected from someone who worked at a famous game company, the plan is solid and on trend. With a game this small in scale, Katsuyoshi and I should be able to handle it ourselves. You know, if I'm gonna work, I want it to be for a dream. I want to focus on something meaningful. The word meaningful shakes me even more. I've been feeling uneasy and unfulfilled in my current job. I want to do more fulfilling work. Alright, let's do it! Really? Thanks! And so, I chose to walk the path with Katsuyoshi. Shortly afterward, I began preparing to leave the company. The rumor had already spread, and I became the subject of ridicule among my colleagues. He's quitting, and apparently starting a game company with his college buddy.
What an idiot. Acting like a kid at his age? He finally got into such a good company too.
Good pay, good benefits, an easy job with no overtime, and you can watch movies at work. Leaving such a great workplace? It's obvious he'll regret it later. Sure, this company might be perfect for people like Mishiba-senpai. But no matter how many years I spend here, my skills won't improve. No matter what they say, I had no doubts left. Thus began the days of relentless work at the new company, Lovekoi Games, far beyond what I had imagined. Look at all these bugs! There's no way we can handle this alone! Should we just hire some debuggers? No, our funds are limited. If we're going to spend, it should go toward game resources. I'll power through the testing and bug fixing myself. Cutting down 100 test cases. Koichi, I'm glad I asked you to join. I'm going in too. Energy drink elixir! It felt like time, which had been stagnant, suddenly started moving, and I was on fire. After that, number 8 Watermelon was successfully released, becoming a massive success that even sparked a brief internet craze. We used the sales from that to expand the company, with Katsuyoshi as CEO and me as vice president and general producer. Daily study became essential. During lunch breaks, on the commute, I was always studying game development. So this development tool is trending now. It does seem convenient. I've been looking into it too. I have a development environment set up at home. Really? Then can you teach me sometime? I didn't have weekends off, and in modern terms, it was extremely black or unethical, but I was full of fulfillment. After several failures, we had a string of hits. Then a new opportunity arose for Lovekoi Games. Everyone, we've secured a deal to develop and run the social game for that popular IP. Really? If we develop the social game for that hit manga, our company's recognition will skyrocket. Let's start recruiting more staff immediately. The social game was a huge success, supporting Lovekoi Games' operations for over 5 years. With that revenue, 5 years after its founding, Lovekoi Games finally began developing a consumer game. It means a video game, and is vastly different from a social game in terms of budget, time, and personnel, but it's also more rewarding because you can put so much into it. The time has finally come. It felt both long and short. Has it already been 5 years? It's gone by in a flash because I've been so busy every day. We can do this with our current team. Let's keep recruiting more people as we go. We now have about 150 employees, but with this, our team will continue to grow. Meanwhile, a wave of change was finally hitting Furui Technology. Wait, the entire group is revamping its system? Yes, and we'll need to update our systems to match. We'll be dealing with more issues for a while, so it's gonna get busy. Seriously? That's such a hassle. Well, I'll just do the usual half-assed job, and I'll be fine. After 2 years of development, Lovekoi Quest sold 200,000 copies, becoming a hit. It received an unexpectedly strong response from overseas, leading to a series, which now has over 800,000 copies sold. Other hits followed, and now, 10 years since the founding of Lovekoi Games, it has grown into a company with over 300 employees. Alright, the plan is starting to come together. Let's refine this for the next planning meeting and call it a day.
Yes, thank you.
This is Kaho Taketani, a 24-year-old planner who joined 2 years ago. She learned about us through Lovekoi Quest, and her passion is second to none among the employees.
I'm exhausted. Vice President, would you like some coffee? I can make you some. I've already brought some. Here you go, both of you.
Thank you, Umezawa-san. This is Yukine Umezawa, a 29-year-old planner who has worked various jobs before settling here 2 years ago. Though they're different in age, she and Kaho joined around the same time, making them both colleagues and rivals.
I thought the Vice President didn't get involved in development.
I'm only not involved with Lovekoi Quest. I plan to step back entirely from it in the future.
It's a series after all. I really enjoy working with you, Vice President, so it's a bit disappointing.
Thank you. I'd love to be more involved, but it's tough with the organizational structure. But I still want to keep working as a developer, so if you all agree, I'd love to get involved.
Of course!
A few days later, I had an appointment to meet with the two of them for a meeting at a cafe. It was a new place I had been wanting to try.
The Vice President said he'd be a bit late because a meeting ran long. He's in high demand everywhere. It's great to see how everyone relies on him. He's so passionate. You're passionate enough yourself. More than me, at least. Huh? Umezawa-san? I hardly played games before I joined this company. I'm terrible at pretending, putting up a front or flattering others. I can't help but argue until I'm satisfied, no matter who I'm talking to. I can see that in you, Umezawa-san. That's why I've always clashed with someone at every workplace and ended up leaving. I've been rejected in so many interviews, and even the jobs I finally got didn't last. This company was just one of many I applied to. But during the interview, the vice president told me this.
Wanted to discuss things until you're satisfied is a strength. It means you take your work seriously.
But won't that kind of employee be a hassle for the company?
Here we debate for 5 hours over a character's outfit. The president and I have always been stubborn. So, working with someone like you might help us create something even better. Would you like to work here?
I felt saved by those words. I wanted to work hard for this person. But compared to others, my passion for games is low. And I hear you had us as your first choice, so... That's not true. I'm actually envious of how efficient you are, Umezawa-san. I've been a fan of Love Koi Quest and knew about the vice president even before I joined. I was so excited when I found out we'd be working together. But I'm slow at work, lack skills, and I'm not very smart. I'm honestly overwhelmed by the skill gap, especially with someone like you who's so driven. Well, he's probably just one of those people who were born to do this work. We're in different leagues.
That's a bit of an overstatement. I wasn't born to make games. I spoke up from behind the two of them.
Vice President, how long have you been listening?
Sorry, it was an interesting conversation, so I couldn't help myself. I sat down and called a waiter to place an order. Before getting to the main topic, I continued the conversation. I used to spend my days doing nothing but the same repetitive tasks in a company that had no productivity. Of course, I liked games and wanted to develop them, but without the president's invitation, I wouldn't have taken the plunge. But after making games, seeing so many people enjoy them, and meeting colleagues like you, it's okay for passion and purpose to come later. The important thing is to keep moving forward, even just a little.
You're right, Vice President. Thank you. I'm going to work hard to become someone like you, Vice President.
Just then, a waiter, who had finished serving another customer, came to take her order. Have you decided on your order yet? Wait, Ariake? Huh? Could it be Mishiba-senpai? The waiter was none other than Shota Mishiba, the senior I used to work with at Furui Technology. Yo, what a coincidence meeting you here. Yes, it is. So, since then... I was about to ask how things have been, but stopped myself at the last moment. I remembered hearing from Katsuyoshi that there were rumors about turmoil within Furui Technology. And now, Mishiba-senpai is working as a waiter at a cafe. I could guess what might have happened. After you quit, the whole group slowly started moving toward updating the system. Naturally, Furui Technology, which handled the infrastructure, also needed to change its system, but they couldn't update it, right? Because the system was too old. It's a 20-year-old system! Nobody knew how it worked! How could we update it? Yes, the downside of an outdated system. The impact fell more on the people inside the company than the company itself. So we ended up having to rebuild the system from scratch. Even without hearing the details, I knew how it ended. They only knew how to operate that system. No, they didn't even know how to operate it. They just followed the manual and performed the same steps every day. So when the system was replaced, they had to start learning from scratch, but they couldn't keep up. That's understandable. After nearly 10 years of slacking off, their diligence must have rusted. In the end, I, along with many others, were laid off. They said we were useless. I've been scraping by on part-time jobs and looking for work for nearly 2 years now. But this is how I am. What are you doing now, Ariake? You left to start a game company, right? Well, since you're from Furui Technology, business must be tough, huh? Close to bankruptcy? We're still going. I'm currently the vice president and producer. Vice president? What company? Love Koi Games, but... Huh? The company that developed Love Koi Quest? Suddenly, Mishiba-senpai moved closer to me, putting on a fake smile. Hey, Ariake, hire me. We used to work together, right? Huh? I can't make such decisions on the spot. Please apply through the recruitment page. Don't say that! I'm begging you! It's all up to you! Mishiba-senpai blatantly asks for backdoor entry, making Umezawa-san and Taketani-san uncomfortable. Don't worry, even I can make a game. Plus, I was an engineer until recently, so I'm an immediate asset, right?
Make a game? Immediate asset.
The two who had been watching silently finally flinched. By the way, do you play games often? Huh? Nah, I mean, I'm too old for games. You don't play either, right? You're just making them. I spend about 20 hours a week gaming. What? Seriously? Must be nice being a vice president, huh?
Huh?
Both of them shouted in anger, stepping up to Mishiba-senpai.
Don't joke about Vice President being free, even as a joke. I'd love to show you how many reference books are piled on the Vice President's desk. He leaves the office early because he doesn't want to burden the employees. But he works harder, studies more, and finds time to game. Everyone knows this.
Overwhelmed by the two, Mishiba-senpai falters.
If you're an immediate asset as an engineer, why are you still job hunting? Well, from what I've heard, it sounds like the technology you were using isn't in demand anymore.
What? It's not my fault. That's all they needed at work. Then the company laid me off. It's not my fault. It's the company's fault for not teaching me more. And society too. This country is too hard on professionals who specialize in one skill. Traditional skilled workers should be protected by the government. Don't you agree? His relentless self-defense was unbearable to listen to, leaving everyone at the table speechless and grimacing. Sure, protecting traditional skilled workers is important, but blaming the company or the country for your lack of skills is wrong. And Mishiba-senpai's skills are more outdated than traditional.
I also tend to speak frankly in interviews, but not to this extent. I'm starting to get a headache.
Even if he hired you now, Mishiba-senpai, you wouldn't be able to keep up with that attitude. What was common knowledge a few years ago could be the opposite a few years later. That's a daily occurrence in this industry. So if you don't keep studying and honing your skills, you'll easily be left behind. You're paying the price now for coasting through life without self-improvement. Damn it! Don't get all high and mighty just because you're a vice president. You're just a lucky bastard who got invited by an old friend at the right time and rode the wave. If I had the same chance, I'd... That's not something I can let slide. The person who spoke up wasn't me, but someone who had just arrived on the scene. You sound like Koichi succeeded without any effort. You have no idea.
President Eto, what are you doing here?
I came to pass on some information about our next meeting. I heard from Koichi that you'd be here. I saw the commotion, so I watched for a bit, but I couldn't stand your nonsense anymore. Katsuyoshi answered, glaring at Mishiba-senpai with an expression I had never seen before. For the past 10 years, I've seen how hard Koichi has worked. I won't tolerate anyone insulting my best friend. If you had been working hard and honing your skills daily, you wouldn't have been laid off, would you? Even the company judged you to be a useless employee. You didn't build trust with them. That's the reality. The difference between you and Koichi isn't luck. It's the difference between how seriously you've taken your job and what you've built up over time. Take back what you said about Koichi, right now. Shut up! I didn't do anything wrong. Hi, you guys don't understand anything. With that, Mishiba-senpai ran off.
He left without even taking our order.
I listened to the sighs of the two and thanked them. Thanks, everyone. After that, the chef from the kitchen came out in a panic, apologizing profusely, and the matter was resolved. Now, as for Mishiba-senpai, I'm nearly 40. Nobody will hire me. Damn, my back hurts. Hey newbie, what's taking so long? Hurry up and move it. It seems he's been scraping by, moving from one part-time job to another. Damn it! Being bossed around by some kid! Judging by this, it seems unlikely he'll change anytime soon. Since then, Umezawa-san and Takitani-san have become even more motivated and passionate about their work.
Vice President, my proposal is done. Please check it. No, mine was finished first. So please check mine first.
You've both finished already? There's still more than 2 days until the deadline.
After hearing your words that day, I couldn't just sit around and rest. I realized I need to push myself harder. I'm going to work harder than anyone to be recognized by you, Vice President. Please continue to guide and support me, Vice President. And I'm going to make sure you see me not just as a colleague, but as a woman. Before her.
Whoa, the energy from both of them is intense. Why are they like this? Haha, you're quite clueless, Koichi. No matter the workplace or job, if you don't maintain your drive to improve, you'll eventually be left behind by the times. But as long as you don't neglect that effort, I believe you can continue to walk your path, unaffected by changes in the times. Now, as Vice President, I can't always remain a developer. But from now on, I'll do my best to make this company a place where employees can pursue their dreams and find fulfillment.